you ever feel overwhelmed with too many notes, lectures, or articles to read? You're not alone. Students spend hours rereading textbooks and trying to condense key points, while professionals often leave meetings with pages of notes that they'll never revisit. Taking notes is already time-consuming, and summarizing them can feel like doing the work all over again. But what if I told you that I can handle this for you? With just a few clicks, I can turn your messy notes, transcripts, or even full research papers into clear, concise summaries that save you hours of effort. And in this video, I'll show you step-by-step how to do exactly that. The first step is to capture your raw notes or source material. Think of this as giving AI the ingredients it needs before it can cook the meal. For example, let's say you've just attended a 1-hour lecture on marketing basics. Instead of manually writing a summary, you could paste the full lecture transcript into ChatGPT. Or if you've been in a work meeting, you could use a tool like otter.ai to generate an automatic transcript, then feed that into ChatGPT for summarizing. Another example is research articles. If you find a 10-page paper online, instead of reading it word for word, you can paste it into ChatGPT and ask for the key insights. Here's the important thing. AI works best when you give it organized input. If you paste random, broken sentences, the summary will be messy. But if you paste clean paragraphs, bullet points, or full transcripts, AI can detect the structure and give you much more accurate results. In short, the better your input, the better your summary. Once you've got your notes or transcript ready, the next step is to let AI do the heavy lifting, creating a summary. This is where tools like ChatGPT, Notion AI, or even Microsoft Copilot really shine. Let's take an example. Suppose you just pasted a long, messy lecture transcript into ChatGPT. All you need is a simple prompt like, summarize this text into 5 key bullet points. In just seconds, AI will break down a 2,000-word lecture into a handful of clear, digestible notes. Instead of sifting through pages of text, you now have the core ideas right in front of you. And the great part is, you can customize the format. For instance, if you're a student, you might say, summarize this into a study guide with key definitions and examples. If you're a professional, you could ask, summarize this meeting transcript into a 1-paragraph email update for my team. AI can adapt to the style and format you need, whether that's bullet points, short paragraphs, or even tables. This flexibility makes it far more useful than traditional note-taking methods. Think about the time saved. What used to take 30 minutes of careful rereading and highlighting can now be done in under a minute. That's the power of AI summarization. Here's where AI becomes even more powerful. Customization. Summaries don't have to be one-size-fits-all. You can shape them to match exactly what you need. For example, if you're a student preparing for exams, you might ask, summarize this chapter into a study guide with headings and bullet points, including key definitions and examples. Now, instead of just plain text, you'll get neatly structured notes that are easy to review before a test. If you're working on a blog or research project, you can prompt, turn this summary into a blog-style outline with an introduction, main points, and a conclusion. That gives you a ready-to-use framework for your article. And if you're in a professional setting, try, summarize this meeting into a professional email update with action items at the end. That way, you can send polished summaries to your team in minutes. You can even change the tone or difficulty level. For example, explain this in simple terms a 10-year-old could understand. Or write this summary in a formal academic style with citations. The beauty of AI is that it adapts instantly. Instead of you adjusting your notes for different purposes, AI adjusts for you. It's like having a personal assistant who knows exactly how you want your information delivered. Once you've generated your summaries, the final step is to organize them so they're easy to find and use later. AI gives you the content, but good organization ensures you'll actually benefit from it. For example, you could store your AI-generated notes in tools like Notion, Obsidian, or Google Docs. These apps let you create folders or databases where each summary is neatly tagged by subject or project. A student might keep separate pages for each course, while a professional might organize notes by client or meeting date. Here's a simple workflow. After summarizing a lecture in ChatGPT, Copy the result into Notion under a page called Marketing 101, Week 3. Do the same for each class, and in a few weeks, you'll have a full digital library of study notes, all clean, consistent, and searchable. The same goes for professionals. Imagine you've summarized 5 different project meetings. If you drop them into a single folder in Google Docs, you can quickly search for budget update or deadline extension without scrolling through hours of transcripts. The key is to treat REI summaries like assets. They're only valuable if you can access them later. By keeping them organized, you turn scattered information into a structured knowledge base you can rely on. Now let's look at a few real-life situations where AI note-taking and summarizing can save hours of work. For students, imagine sitting through a 90-minute lecture. Instead of rewriting everything by hand, you can upload the transcript and ask AI, summarize this into 10 key points for revision. Suddenly, you've got a study guide ready in minutes. For professionals, think about weekly meetings. Most teams spend 30 minutes discussing tasks, but nobody wants to type up the recap. With AI, you can drop the transcript in and prompt, summarize into a 1-paragraph update with action items. Now everyone on the team is on the same page instantly. For researchers or writers, reading long articles can be exhausting. AI can create structured summaries with key arguments, supporting evidence, and even suggestions for how to expand them into blog posts or reports. The point is, no matter your field, student, professional, or creator, AI can transform the way you handle information. It doesn't just save time, it makes your notes clearer, more organized, and much easier to use. And that brings us to the end of this tutorial on using AI for note-taking and summarizing. Let's quickly recap what we've covered. We started by talking about the real struggle, feeling overwhelmed by pages of notes, long lectures, or never-ending meeting transcripts. Then we saw how AI can step in to handle that workload for you. First, we looked at capturing your raw notes or transcripts. Whether it's a lecture recording, a meeting transcript, or a full research article, AI needs good input to give you quality output. Then we walked through how to summarize with simple prompts, breaking down complex information into clear, easy-to-understand points. After that, we customized the summaries for students, for professionals, and even for writers. Finally, we talked about organizing those notes so they're not just created and forgotten, but actually stored and ready for future use. The key takeaway here is simple. AI doesn't replace your thinking, it supports it. Instead of wasting hours rewriting and condensing, you get a first draft or a clean set of notes in minutes. That means you can spend more time learning, creating, or making decisions rather than wrestling with raw information. Now here's where you come in. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want more tutorials on using AI to save time and boost productivity, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Finally, I'd love to hear from you. What's the very first thing you plan to use AI to summarize? A lecture, a book chapter, a meeting? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be reading and replying. That was all from us today for this video, folks. For more similar content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.